Karen Saez here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in, for
Yes.
sure. Absolutely. We're going to talk a little bit about the real estate market here in Jacksonville, talk about health and fitness, time management, and just kind of being the person in the industry here.
Yeah.
So if you could, give us a little bit about your background and how did you get started?
So I grew up, my dad he did all kinds of things. He's an attorney. He owned some real estate. He's a
Okay.
property manager. So he stopped being an attorney to manage his properties. He had quite a few different buildings in
Definitely
New
a few.
Jersey.
Okay.
So he did it all himself. He just wanted to do it. It was easy for him. We could travel. So I grew up around him being a landlord
Okay.
and also a builder. So he would build maybe 3 to 4 houses a year.
So he's a lawyer, property manager, and a builder.
Yeah, like he just never stopped.
Man.
But he stopped being a lawyer so he could focus on his properties
Okay.
and on building.
Okay.
But like he wasn't a big builder. He just bought a
Like-
lot, built a couple of houses once a year, 3 to 4 times a year.
Okay.
So I would go with him.
Okay.
When I was little, I would just go to the properties with him, and this was the time where you had to physically collect
the
rent
money,
from people.
yeah.
So we would go there, door knock, collect rent. He didn't speak Spanish. I spoke Spanish.
Okay.
So I would translate for him. So I was always doing real estate related things for him, like typing out tenant letters and working with him on accounting.
Wow.
So I was always around real estate, just
Mhm.
not really conscious of it really.
Okay.
Whenever he would build, I would go and see Jersey. It's like we have basements and all of that. So I
Mhm.
would watch the whole process of the foundation being poured, and he would explain the process to me.
That's super cool
And
background.
then at the end, he would hire me to clean the new construction.
Oh, really?
homes. So yeah.
Had to
So
get that child labor in
I
there.
would go in there and I would sweep up the houses and just picture like me being a grown up living in this
Yeah.
house. It was fun. It was
That's
really
cool.
fun.
How old were you, would you say?
I would say I was in middle school.
Middle school?
So yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. How old are you in middle school?
Like 8th grade. My daughter's 7th grade, 13. So
So I was like 12.
12,
yeah.
12, 13, yeah,
under
13.
12 for
Okay.
sure. Doing all the things, like hating it. I'm like, oh my gosh. I
yeah.
have to go collect rent. Like something would break. Oh, we have to go there now.
Oh, he'd bring you to fix stuff too?
Well, he wouldn't fix it, but
Yeah.
he would go assess the damage.
Yeah.
And then call whoever he needed to
So
call.
he was cultivating you.
For sure.
For sure,
Like
yeah.
not knowing, right?
Mhm.
Because I wanted to be a doctor, not
Okay.
a lawyer, a doctor.
Okay. Doctor. Okay.
So that's what I was going to school for. And
Okay.
anyway, so long story short, how I got into real estate.
Mhm.
So COVID happened. I worked for Deutsche Bank, so I had a really good job.
Okay.
And we worked from home during the pandemic. Out of nowhere, they're like, okay, we're going to be laying you off or furloughing you. We'll call you back when we need you.
Okay.
So I'm a single mom, and to me that was a hard, like scary thing. Like, how am I going to support a
Mhm.
mortgage, a car payment, all the things that we have, right?
Yeah.
So I just had this bright idea. Let me get my real estate license.
Okay. So this is 2020 or 19?
This was 2020.
2020. Okay.
So I get my real estate license. I failed the first time by 2 points. The
Okay.
second time I did it virtually and I passed. Thank goodness, because it's a 100-question test.
Yeah.
It's not hard, but it's just like intimidating.
It's a little tricky. They try to trick you out. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So pass the test. I get called back into work 2 months later. So I wasn't furloughed for very long.
Okay.
So I went back to work, didn't do anything with my license. And then I bought a business, and it was a bar, like a hookah lounge bar.
Here in Jax?
Oh yeah, I knew nothing about it, but I was
Okay.
like, let's do it. I went to Mexico with my girlfriends, had this bright idea to open up a bar in Jacksonville.
That's literally my 5-year plan is get like a cigar or piano bar idea.
We will talk about that off
Okay,
camera,
I
but
did
yes.
not know that. Okay.
So I owned a business. It was my friend's boyfriend because he knew people, so I needed the connection.
Okay.
Myself and at the time my boyfriend. So the three of us were partners in this new business venture.
Okay.
And it was challenging. So I was
Mhm.
working my full-time job at the bank,
Mhm.
and I was managing and running a bar
So
by
yeah,
myself.
early
They
days
weren't
and late
really, they
nights.
weren't in it. Like I was doing it all.
You
really.
were the face, more or less.
I was doing everything.
Okay. Oh,
Knowing
okay.
nothing. I've never bartended in my life. I worked as a waitress once.
Okay.
When
So
I
you
was
were making
18.
drinks?
Oh, I learned. I took myself through
Holy
bartending school
moly.
so that if I hired somebody,
You
like
would know.
I could train them and make
Mhm.
sure that they were doing things correctly.
Okay.
So I was very hands-on. So I was doing both things for a while. Decided like, you know what, like this business is actually really profitable. I can pull back and quit the bank. So I did. And that was a scary decision, but I
Okay.
did it. And then after that, I owned the business for 2 years, and then I just decided to sell it because it's really stressful.
Yeah.
And at the time, my son was 6. So I was spending a lot of time away from him and a lot of weekends away from him. And I
Mhm.
just didn't want to do that anymore. So I sold the business and then just started doing real estate full time last year. So this is my second year and the
Okay.
business.
And the business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Whew, bring it around. But
Yeah.
as you see, she is very like thorough, and she has a lot of different understanding of process of building, being an investor,
Mhm.
collecting money. That's a huge
And now
background.
I'm a
And
landlord.
now you're a landlord.
Yeah.
Okay, you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I own a property near downtown by the stadium. It's a quadplex, so I manage 4 different tenants.
Okay.
4 different AC units. I didn't think it through
No,
for a
that's
first
awesome.
one, but yeah, I mean it's fun. It's I didn't think I would be a landlord. Just watching my dad go through all of it,
Mhm.
but I did it. I bought it a year ago now, so it's been about a year and a
About a
half
year.
of
Okay.
owning it. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Up all the ups and downs. I've had to do evictions already, so I'm a pro at evictions, unfortunately. But yeah, it's been fun because now having done it firsthand, like now when I get investor clients,
Mhm.
I know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not just, from firsthand experience.
True, keep from your own,
Yeah, yeah.
And then like what they're looking for and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. I know how to
Yeah.
calculate cap rate. I know exactly what areas of town are good. I know how to help them manage the property. I don't do property management. That's not
Okay.
something I concentrate
sub-
on.
you
I do my
subcontract
own
it.
for my own
For
property.
your own okay.
But I don't do it for other clients. Like
Yeah.
I refer them out. I have good referrals that I can send them, or I just teach them. Like here's the websites that I personally use
Mhm.
as a landlord, not as a realtor.
Okay.
And then I just kind of empower them to, hey, do it yourself if you want to, and if you feel like you can't, then I have contacts that you can hire.
That's awesome. That's really valuable
Yeah,
information
yeah.
because you rather learn from someone than learn yourself and burn out and then have to
Yeah.
relearn again.
Yeah,
That makes
and
sense.
luckily I had my dad to like guide me through it and teach. I mean, he lives in Jersey and
Mhm.
it's different
Yeah,
laws and
laws,
regulations.
Yeah, a lot of laws up there.
Right, but
Yeah.
for the most part, it's the same type of process.
That makes
so,
sense. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. So you have that to fall back on.
Mhm.
So right now you've been in the industry for 2 years. Of course, the market is just doing what it's doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's doing. What would you say is something that you could take on from when you first entered, what you were thinking being a realtor is all about to having some experience at this point?
I would say being more structured. Like my first 2 months, I was going to Pilates at 10 and like my day would go by so fast. And then I was wondering why I wasn't getting any business.
Okay.
Like no one's going to come knocking at your door and say, hey, you're a real estate
Yeah.
agent. Come, you know what I mean? Like no
Mhm.
one's going to do that. So you have to be disciplined. You have to put in the work. Right now, like I can structure my day however I want, but I choose to wake up early going into fitness now.
Yeah.
So I wake up
Okay.
at 4:30 every morning and I'm at the
4:30?
gym. 4:30. I'm at the gym by 5
Okay.
a.m. because I know how I want to structure my day. I pick up my
Okay.
son from school at 2:45. My day doesn't stop there, right? But
True.
I have to find time to be a mom.
That's true to have that
So
availability.
pick him up at 2:45. We're home by like 3-ish.
Mhm.
Snack, homework, and then I'll work on my business too. So basically,
Okay.
my day starts from 8 a.m. until 2:30.
Mhm.
Then I pick him up. I'm a mom for a little while, and then I go back into work.
I got you. So that's time management right there.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what I learned from my first year, my first couple of months. I was like, this isn't working. Like I'm
Mhm.
not. I had like one deal every 2 months, and I was like, okay, this is not going to work
True,
for me.
true.
So I got structured. Now I have like a time block. I plan my days accordingly. And that's huge for anyone out there that's like brand new, newly
Yeah.
licensed. Like you have to structure your days.
And just being self-employed, you have to make your own schedule because no one's telling you what to do. So
Right.
yeah, that's a big thing.
But at
Time.
first I was like, well, I have all this time for you. I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah.
you want to go to lunch? I would say yes to everything. Yeah, let's go to lunch.
Oh really?
And then spend 2 hours at lunch and be like, well, I
Yeah.
got to go pick up my son now. And then
That was
just
the
wasn't,
day.
it wasn't productive
That
whatsoever.
makes sense.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
What would you say is the best way that you're obtaining quality leads? Because everybody, you could buy leads at this point, but is it referral? Is it a database you're using? What is your
So I do use a database, but it's also referrals.
Mhm.
And then like whenever I do an open house, I'll go, I'll knock on the neighbors' doors, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, I'm hosting an open house across the street. So I get there like 2 hours before,
Okay.
an hour to set up, put open house signs, get everything done in the house, and then like I just spend a little bit of time talking to the neighbors. Because not only do you want them to get to know you, but if the house sells quickly or if you do a good job,
True, they may want-
obviously they're going to know you. And
Mhm.
if they need to sell or something like that, then that's referrals right there, right?
Yeah.
So I knock on their door and I'm like, hey, here's my business card. If anyone blocks your driveway or anything like that, call me.
Gotcha.
So that instead
that's
of
the
being like,
end.
oh,
Okay.
I'm giving them like a value. Like,
Mhm.
hey, if anything happens, this is my phone number. Call me and I'll make sure that somebody moves their car.
Yeah.
And that's worked out quite a bit.
Okay. I never heard that one. That's a good
Yeah.
one. What is you're partnering up with someone that needs financing? So of course, there's a lot of cash buyers move from
Mhm.
other states, but who are you partnering up? Banks, lenders, brokers?
Lenders and brokers, because
Okay.
brokers are able to give them different options, which is good. That's, kind of like what you do.
Yep.
So I like that better, because then you can give them different scenarios, different options, and then the buyer can then choose what option fits their needs best.
Okay. Yeah,
So.
I agree with that. I think it makes sense. Just like your car insurance, you'd rather go to a broker than just one entity to get your best rate, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What are you telling your first-time home buyers or people that's looking to buy right now in the market? They don't want to wait anymore. What are you telling them, like the 3 steps that they should
Don't
do?
wait. Usually, so looking at the data from the market, and we study market stats in my office, in the fall, prices tend to fall. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, people try to slow down. There's a lot of homes on the inventory for us here in Northeast Florida. And we're noticing, like, I have listings that have been on the market for 2 months and no one's buying them.
Okay.
So right now is a good time, because sellers want to sell. Like, they're on the market because they want to sell their house.
Yeah.
Either they need to sell it, something's happening, they're moving out of town or something, but they need to sell this home. So you can, if you're buying a house right now, it's a good time, because sellers are willing to negotiate with you a lot more.
Okay.
So before, like, COVID times, you had to go above asking,
beyond,
like, give them your firstborn child. Like, it was crazy times.
Firstborn, there you go.
Like, I want this house. Now
sure.
it's a little bit more a buyer's market, in my opinion, because now you can pick and choose and negotiate repairs. You can negotiate the terms. You can negotiate so much more. So even though, like, interest rates are a little bit higher, right? They're not at a 2%. I don't think they'll ever be at a 2%. What do you think?
I don't think. I hope so. I mean, for everyone in the industry, but no, I don't think it's going to happen. That was from a specific worldwide catastrophe, kind of, was COVID, right? That's what made the markets fluctuate like that.
And when interest rates were low, home prices were high.
Yeah.
So what are you really getting?
It's kind of offsetting it. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then also, if you wait, when the rates do drop to, let's say, 4s potentially, or low 5s, what's going to happen to home purchase prices?
They're going to go up.
They're going to go up.
And everyone's going to be in the market for a home, so it's going to get back into multiple offers.
Yep.
You fighting to get that house you want, having to offer more money. So then really
what's the trade-off?
Exactly.
Also, if you buy now, guess what? That home's going to appreciate when the value.
Absolutely. It's going to appreciate. You're going to be able to refinance once the rates go down. You help with refinances,
yes,
right?
ma'am.
Exactly.
Yeah. So reach out. So let's talk about, we kind of dabbled into fitness a little bit. This is the best part, my favorite part. The muscle part, if you want to flex on them really quick.
No, I don't have, there's no, I have leg muscles, but arm muscles,
no
not really.
muscles.
Not a whole lot. You can, like, with one finger.
No, you got it. Hey, you got it. So you start your day at 4:30. What kind of fitness routine do you have going on?
So I just started, like, I used to run, then I stopped running for a while.
Like
with
run,
the bar.
like miles run, or?
Yeah, like half marathons and all.
Oh, really?
I did the Disney one. That was my favorite one. It was so fun. Like, you run through Disney World. Like, it's really cute. Like, through the castle.
Oh, really? Oh, that
well,
Magic
not through
Kingdom?
the castle, but like next to the castle.
Okay,
the Magic Kingdom. Yeah, it's fun. So I wake up really early. I do weights. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are my leg days. I'm a girl, so of course we do legs like a lot.
Man, yeah.
I work out 6 days a week. So
6 days?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes 7. July, I worked out every day of the month except for one day, which was my birthday. And I worked out on my birthday. I just didn't, like, close my rings on my Apple Watch. But yeah, so normally, like, I weight train, and then at the end of my workout, I run either a mile or 2. I go crazy. But that's basically it. I love it. I feel like I start my day off in a good way, in a positive way. I'm working on myself, right? Like, I listen to, like, motivational speeches, or I listen to just worship music, working out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then once I'm running, then I do switch it up and listen to something more, like, upbeat.
Yeah,
so I can
keep your legs going.
Exactly.
After those leg days. Whew,
yeah, and then that's it. Then I go home, I shower, change, get ready for the day, get my son ready, breakfast, school drop off, and then usually either work from home or a coffee shop, or I go into the office, or I have meetings throughout the day. So I just try to structure my day where I'm making the most out of it, because I feel like I am so limited with time that I don't want to, like, waste
every time is precious.
Yeah, exactly.
We appreciate you being here today.
No, yeah, I'm excited.
Sure. So would you say, like, nutrition is a big part of it as well?
Yeah, because for a while I was working out, but I wasn't eating the healthiest. So I wasn't seeing any, like, progress. I'm like, why am I not losing weight? Well, it's because you're eating chocolate every day.
Hey, I do the same, yeah.
Yeah, but then you think, like, one piece is okay. It's really not. Like, when you're doing it every day, and my body was craving that chocolate every single day.
So that's your leg, your handicap chocolate?
Yeah. So but now I'm actually really good. I'll have it once in a while, so I don't, like, limit myself per se. But I feel like I'm doing better. Like I'm making smarter choices. Like for breakfast, I'm having a protein shake.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then for lunch, I'll have something light. Or if I have a big lunch, then I'll have a small dinner or like another shake at nighttime.
Okay.
But before I was just like eating just to eat. Like, oh, it's dinner time. I'm not hungry, but I gotta eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure,
So it wasn't working.
Yeah, no, awesome. Yeah, I mean, the fact that you're able to start your day working out. Maybe I should flip flop. I'm usually an evening guy myself, but I think, like you're saying, start your day with the workout and then just keep pushing through.
Here's why I do it in the morning, because if your day's busy, I'll go later.
Yeah.
And then you get an email and you have to really work on it right away.
That's what's been happening lately.
Right. And then you don't get it done. So for me, I'm like, I'm going to work on myself first. Like as soon as I wake up, that's the first thing I'm going to do for me. Mm-hmm. After that, like once my cup is full, then I will go ahead and do everything else.
That's true. No, you're right.
I mean, it sucks waking up early. It's about to get cold and I'm not going to want to get out of bed. Right. But I pushed myself. I'm like, I'm going to do this for me.
True.
So before it was like, I had a goal in mind. Like I'm going to Greece for a wedding. Like I want to look good for this wedding.
Got you. Okay. So but what got you like, okay, I could wake up at 6, but 4:30, that's just the whole, like,
it's just the way my schedule works. Cause I have to leave my house by 7:15 to get my son to school.
Okay.
On time. So that's just what, I could work out after I drop them off at 8, but then that's gonna put me being done by like 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
and then by the time I like shower, change, get ready for the day, it's gonna be 10:30, 11 o'clock at day.
That's true.
So that's why I'm like, okay, like I want to structure my day where I can make the most out of it, and that's just what works for me.
Yeah, that's the time management portion right there. Yeah. So you're saying that some homes that you have listed or you see homes for 60 days, what is the average?
So it depends on the area. So, Jacksonville is such a big city. Depends on the area. At the beaches, I looked it up yesterday because I have a listing there. It's a condo.
Okay.
The average days on market is 56 days.
At Jax Beach? Wow. Okay.
In the specific area of Jax Beach,
okay.
yeah. So, which is a lot longer than before. Before things were selling in a weekend or,
literally.
Max 25 days. Now it's double. So 56 days on market.
Okay.
About 7 months of supply. Which is a lot,
that's
that's normal, right?
Well, so for an average market,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're getting back to that average market, which is good. But if you're a seller, and you just came from those crazy times, like you're used to putting I remember I put my house on the market. 4 hours later, I had an offer and we were executed.
4 hours later.
4 hours later.
Yeah.
Literally.
Wow. Yeah. Because when I sold my last house, it was sold in a week. Yeah. So
when I sold my house here in St. John's, that was 2 years ago. I sold it in a week, and I thought it took forever. I was like, wow, it's not selling.
So, yeah.
It was a week later, and it was sold.
Yeah, no, same thing.
Yeah.
Yes. It's crazy, but I think with this election year, right? So every election year, everything kind of does a lot of up and downs.
Well, people want to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens.
But I feel like if you want to buy, why wait for an election?
Yeah.
What's
they're not
going
to do anything for you, right?
What's that going to change?
Yeah,
if interest rates go down, great, you can refinance. You have options. You don't have to be stuck being like, oh, I can't. I'm going to wait for what?
Yeah. And if your lease is coming up, I tell people all the time, you have to put your deposit, and sometimes your last month rent. That's almost your down payment right there.
Exactly. And there's so many options that you can help them find for first-time home buyers, or where they don't have to put any money down. Or there's so many different options out there that if you're just thinking about buying, I think you should at least apply.
Just inquire.
Exactly. Do an application. Find out what your options are. If it's not the right time, it's okay. But at least you know. And you have that peace of mind that, okay, maybe not this year, but maybe next year I can. Or in 6 months, I'm going to be able to start the process.
Yeah, it gives you a platform to start planning from there, and give you things to work on.
And you don't want to be rushed, because if you're rushed buying a house, you're going to settle and you're just going to buy any house. And you don't want that. This is a big investment.
For sure.
So you want to make sure that you take your time. And average days from the time you write an offer to closing, it's usually about 30 days.
30 days, yeah.
So,
it's not an emotional thing. You want it to be logical. So, I would agree for sure.
You want to look into school districts, whether you have kids or not, because that helps as a resale value, right? Because if you live in an okay area with bad schools, people are not going to want to buy your house.
That is
so you have to think about all of that. And that's what I educate my clients with that, because a lot of them say, well, I don't have any kids. I don't care about the school district.
Yeah.
Well, you don't care now. But if you have kids 2 years from now, or when you go to sell that house and it's not selling.
They care about that, yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And one thing about the St. John's or some parts of Manor or Bartram, the school districts are really good. So that is definitely a big selling point. To have your kid just drive around the neighborhood and you don't have to worry about it. It's a big selling point. I would agree for sure. Well, if you guys are interested in reaching out to Miss Karen, our contact information will be at the bottom of the video. Just introduce yourself. She's very knowledgeable in our market here in North Florida. And I am a broker, so give me a call, and we look forward to hearing from you all. And thanks for tuning in.